All right, great. Welcome everybody to our webinar, our demonstration webinar of BuzzBoard Ignite. My name is David Howard. I'm the VP of Marketing with BuzzBoard. I got Philip Cortez, who heads up. Philip, geez, what you head up is not professional services. You do training.
Oh gosh, it's like a catch-all, director
Yeah,
of community and learnings. Yeah, that's a lot of training, a lot of onboarding, a lot of making sure that people are using our platform to make money, to really leverage the information that we have available within the Buzzboard platform, and how we can kind of integrate into a sales process and really slice it and dice it and make sure that you're able to be successful with it.
excellent. So those of you that are watching, if you choose to proceed with BuzzBoard, you'll be seeing a lot of Philip. Lots of options. You could follow up with this on a one-to-one demonstration with Marilyn Sartori, who heads up our customer success team. If you want to jump straight to a free trial, we have the free trial button up in the top right corner, www.buzzboard.ai. And of course, if you have any other follow-up questions after this, just email me directly and I will either answer your question or I'll get you routed to the person who can. My email address is david@buzzboard.com. We are recording this for those of you that have joined late, or for those of you that just care about having a recording. We are recording it. We do have social media presence. You can find us on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook and on LinkedIn. So we'll push the recording out on social media and make it available. And if you want a specific notification when we've got that published, feel free just to drop me a line or put something in chat. Once we get it through post-production, we'll get it uploaded and I can send you a copy of the recording. So I see Philip's kind of getting everything teed up for his demo there. I think we're targeting what, about 30 minutes today,
Yeah,
Philip? As I look over at the clock, yeah. All right, so
yeah,
Philip, if you're
absolutely.
ready, if you're ready, take it away
I,
with the
I am,
demonstration.
yeah. Thanks, David. So a long time ago when I was beta testing this platform called Buzzboard, I think for me, from a practical standpoint, I wanted to know, okay, the ease of use. I wanted to see what I could do to to leverage this into my workday and generate revenue. How is it going to help give me a lift? And so I think the first area that I really started to gravitate to, there was a couple of them, but number one with the bullet was the ability to use our Chrome extension and with a click get incredible information from top to bottom without leaving a website. And I think that was really important for me because if you're a seller of any kind, whether you're selling professional services, digital marketing services, when we're prospecting, our heads are always on a swivel. And I wanted to make sure that, if I saw a grand opening sign, if I saw somebody's business card that was handed to me, I needed to get context, good information right up front. And lo and behold, the first place we kind of go to is a website, right? So that we can do some research. So here we are. I'm on a website and I'm doing some research from top to bottom. This is holistic information. What we're trying to do at BuzzBoard is we're trying to give you information across the digital marketing spectrum, from multi-platform. Are they seen on mobile? Are they mobile friendly? Are they spending money? Do they run digital ads? Are they on Facebook? Are they social media savvy? Okay, are they trying to um, leverage their messaging across different social media platforms? I like to look at YouTube as an example. Down here, as I scroll down, I'm going to be able to look and see, oh, okay, yes, Google ads. They're running some Google ads. Great. Facebook ads. There's one live ad. Awesome. They're running Instagram ads. Awesome. Social media. I love me some YouTube. I like to see, this little check mark here lets me know that not only do they believe in video, but if you've got your own YouTube channel, you're pushing social media to the next level. And, not often, often is the case. A lot of these people, these businesses might not be that good at leveraging video content on the second largest search engine in the world. So the fact that they love video and they're doing it is really important to me. It's an insight or a signal. that I want to explore. I might be able to help them monetize faster. I might be able to take that content that they're creating and push it across different platforms. So when we look at insights from top to bottom, from local business presence, what marketplaces a business might be on, from top to bottom, we want to be able to give you the holistic view of the digital marketing spectrum so that we can have more impactful conversations. And so from here on, now that I have information, well, I can dive a lot deeper. And my next step in my process as I use BuzzBoard is to come in and open up the larger platform just by clicking on my icon here. So I go from website here, I click right here so that I can open up this business in BuzzBoard and I can start looking at what I want to see here. All right.
So Philip, just
So
interject there. You mentioned the Chrome extension. Is that hard to
yeah,
install? The Chrome extension, is it difficult for people to install? Do they need an IT
absolutely
team to do
not.
that?
I mean, if you're familiar with, no, not at all. Yeah, not at all. I mean, it literally takes a few seconds. I mean, on this call, since we're recording it, and I'm always forgetting the URL, but let's just go to the Chrome Web Store. And of course, it goes without saying we have to be using the Chrome browser, right?
Yeah.
But once we type in BuzzBoard Connect into the search bar, then you'll see BuzzBoard Connect here. And once you click on that, you'll install it and everything should work out for you. So it's relatively easy.
Looks super easy.
Am I coming through okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, hopefully
If
I'm
anybody's
coming
having
through
if anybody's
okay,
having any,
David.
say
Okay,
again?
great. All right, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. If anybody's having any trouble with the audio or the visual, maybe just throw something in chat.
Yeah, you never can be too careful these days, and I don't want to assume that everybody can see what I'm saying or hear what I'm saying with
Yeah.
different Wi-Fi connectivity and everything like that. But once you install that Chrome extension, yeah, you can go to virtually any website, and with one click right over here, you'll see that it's pinned to my menu up here, right? If you go into your Chrome extensions, here's BuzzBoard Connect. Blue always equals view. So once you install it, all you want to do is make sure that you pin it, because if you unpin it, it goes away. So let's pin that. Blue equals view. And we're off to the races. Now we can click, get this information, and it takes about 45 to 90 seconds for us to pull in this data from all our different data sources. We're getting this via API, so we're not scraping third parties. And we're bringing it to you in a holistic way so that when we want to take a deeper dive and look at a business, here we are. We've got the business right in front of us, and we can move forward with our process. And when I talk about the digital marketing spectrum, this right here is what I'm talking about here. And it's kind of like school. So what our job here at BuzzBoard is to do is we want to grade these businesses. We score them, and we provide it with a D score or a buzz score or a digital health score. However people phrase, I've heard it phrased in different ways. And, I'm always excited to hear how people are leveraging this first data point here. But it just so happens that when people look at this score, they think of school. It's their first frame of reference. It's where we were scored anyway. And a lot of our prospects, I found when I was starting to use this platform more and more, I noticed that a lot of my prospects were asking that question, what does 64 mean? Or they would look at 64 and they'd have a bad look on their face, right? They'd be like, oh man, I guess I'm failing, right? And that's when it dawned on me, you know what? You're not failing, but I see what you're doing. Okay. And so as you look at some of my profiles that I've added into my account, most of them via the Chrome extension, you see a bunch of different digital health scores out there. So that if I were to come into this plastic surgery center at a 75, they would also tell me, oh, wow, I guess I'm a C average. Not necessarily. We do go from 0 to 100, just like school, but that's kind of the easiest way for me to move forward and simplify my conversation with them. Because in the old days, I would use the big tech words, try to sound digitally savvy, but all I was doing was confusing my prospect. And what I told him that it was just like school. Yeah, we're looking at the key segments of the digital marketing spectrum over here, and we're scoring them out, just like school. Homework, quizzes, tests, all of that added to that final grade. Well, at BuzzBoard, that's what we're trying to do. Or at company XYZ, that's what we're trying to do. And we go from 0 to 100. So we're trending in the right direction. The higher the score, the greener it gets. But as we can see here, we can take a look behind the hood and start looking at different areas because they do play off of one another. Now, it doesn't mean that this plastic surgeon is failing in advertising, digital advertising at a 50. It just means that from a participation standpoint, as I click into that bar, it means that out of the areas that we're tracking here at BuzzBoard, they're involved with 50%. Instagram ads is brand new. And so, yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. We have opportunity to expand if you wanted to using display or Yelp ads. But for the most part, you're doing good. You're trending in the right direction. We just want to have that conversation with you. That's all.
So
And
Philip, if
once
I
they
can
started
maybe,
to get that, yeah,
sorry, no, if I can restate that in a different way, that cosmetic
sure.
skin surgery, right? So what was advertising? So um, if you're in the business of selling managed advertising services, you manage pay-per-click for your small business or local business clients. You do display ads, Google, Facebook, any of those ads, and you happen to have a specialty focus in this
Mhm.
cosmetic, plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery arena. That's where you can zero in, I think, right? Is here's somebody, hey, you could do a lot more
Absolutely.
with advertising, and that's something I specialize in. Um, and you might not spend so much time talking about your social media services because they're scoring at 100, right? They're getting a superlative grade.
They are from a participation standpoint, but you could look at it in a different way, everybody. And what I found was when I saw 100, well, initially I was kind of skipping it over, thinking that they were taken care of, but not so much because it doesn't really talk about execution. So, case in point, if I click on that at a 100, and now it takes me to my social media area, and you'll see that it's a 100 because every single one of them is checked off. Well, that tells me that social media is important to this business. So I want to talk about what's important to them. But look at this YouTube. If I clicked on that, then it's going to take me right to their YouTube channel. And once I get there at some point in time, once I get there, see, BuzzBoard told me they only had 4 videos and 15 subscribers and only 1,000 views for those 4 videos. So yeah, they've got the check mark here, but it doesn't tell me that they're successful. Okay. So that is an area that I could really play off of because if this is important to them, well, think about everything we can sell with video in mind and everything from production all the way to OTT and everything in between, depending on where you're coming from, what company you work for and what services you offer. Chances are extremely high that you can do a lot with video. Okay. So if I were to click on this and take a look at their page, here it is, 15 subscribers, 4 videos. BuzzBoard was correct. But taking a look at this video, that was 6 years ago with 130, 60, 188. So that means that we can take a look at some of this content and we could put it somewhere else where they could be more successful. Oh, and by the way, I could make them successful within the confines of this platform too, if I wanted to. So yeah, we can look at a 100 and have certain takeaways. But what I found was it's more about participation. The check mark only tells me so much. When I click on that check mark, now I get to look under the hood and have a more consultative conversation with them, just simply by asking them or letting them know, hey, I love your content. How did this make you money back 6 years ago? And why did you stop? Because you were sitting on a gold mine here. Okay. Am I not coming in, Doug? I hear a message saying no sound.
Yeah, I saw that too. Is
David, can you
anybody
hear
else
me?
put in the? Yeah, I can hear you, Philip. Is anybody else having trouble with the audio? If you have trouble with the audio, can you put it in the chat? Just trying to understand if it's a broad problem or if it's located to one person. Or maybe the other way around. If you can hear us okay, maybe just put a thumbs up or something in the chat. Yeah, there's Ty saying it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Doug, you might try on
All
your
right.
audio. Yes, so select, you go down to the mute button, hit the little chevron, and then maybe select a different speaker, or you might try disconnecting and reconnecting.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, it very well could be me. Hopefully it's not, but I'll push through given the time. But with that in mind, with the score in mind, um, you know, I'm happy that I was really satisfied that once I was able to use my Chrome extension and get immediate data, then it was up to me to kind of start telling good stories around that data, or more importantly, asking them really good questions around the data that BuzzBoard was providing me. Recently, what we've done with this platform, which I wish I had, you know, available to me back then, was when we add in the engagement or the content component to this platform, we've always done a really good job of giving you the what, right? The data that are pulled in from different data sources. But with that data, it's almost like it, this chat GPT prompt, right? So that we can get the AI engagement component built in, ability to have a summary of this that's AI generated. And I love that because it gives me the great context that I'm looking for, including who are they going after? Who are their customers? How long have they been in business? It's funny what information can come up built with AI tech, and I really do love that. But here's one of my favorite areas where was the SWOT analysis. Companies pay a lot of money for this information, but then what I'm seeing today amongst people who use our platform, this is a highly leverageable product that can be downloaded. It can be copied to a clipboard. And now what they're doing is they're saying, hey, listen, I'm going to leverage this by maybe focusing on some of the threats. I did some research for you. I built you a SWOT analysis. If you give me some time, we might be able to talk about some of those strengths, how we maximize doing, right? But also look at some of your threats. And lo and behold, BuzzBoard's got a competitive analysis here that totally streamlines from threat to competitor. And now it's a matter of making that value more compelling to the prospect. What we can do here is we can say, hey, listen, if you give me some of that time, we can add in your top competitors, right? So if you list me your top 3 competitors, we could absolutely do that, add them in using BuzzBoard so that we can make a more compelling argument and have a great side-by-side comparison of who you're trying to deal with. Okay, so I love that piece that BuzzBoard provides. That SWOT analysis is really, really good. And I think, let's see, now my Wi-Fi might be a little unstable. So here we go.
Well, Philip, let me jump in, and I
Yeah.
admit this is kind of a leading question, but I think it's good. You have so much direct engaged experience. With everything you showed us, with that kind of competitive analysis and the SWOT analysis, does
Mhm.
that sort of shift the, kind of the approach when you're going out trying to drum up business with clients? Does it shift it from like a kitchen sink approach where you're going to present every single service that you have, throw it up, and see if it sticks? Um, doesn't that shift you towards, kind of zeroing in and focusing on, what the weaknesses and threats are of the prospect?
Yeah, sometimes it does because nothing's really cookie cutter, right? I mean, I think a lot of people have their different approaches to getting appointments. But now that we've got, I think what we're doing is we're augmenting what they're currently doing. By there, I mean a salesperson, a sales professional, a marketing consultant. What we're doing is we're giving them extra ammunition now to really supplement what they're already doing. Um, Case in point, I used to lead on competitive data. I used to be able to say, if you give me your top 3 competitors, I could show you what your your competitors are doing to dip into your market share and take revenue from you. So I kind of used that approach. Some people might say, "Hey, listen, if you give me some of your time, what we do is we look at you very holistically, okay? And we can come in and we could start taking a look at some of the strengths that you might have or some of those weaknesses, and we can support you along that digital marketing spectrum so that we can increase that score, that market share score, that digital health score, right? So yeah, I think there's just different approaches that we can take here. And so yeah, David, thanks for doing that. If you look in the chat, everybody, David did uh type in a link here on prior demos online that people might be able to look at, and that was really also for Doug, who had no sound, but everybody on the
Yeah.
call, you can absolutely look at that as well. So with that said, that competitive piece is super good because what what we can do now using BuzzBoard is we can start having some kind of a, I've always asked people, what's your value proposition? Because really, when we want our prospects to give us their time, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to give them a value proposition, right? And some people lead with the audience. If you're coming from media, you might want to do that, and that's something that I used to do coming from media. But now that we've got good engagement, good content right over here, including this competitive analysis and now the SWOT analysis, well, the AI generated material here is now supported by those businesses that I just randomly added live on this call. I added Advanced Plastic Surgery, Center for Aesthetics and Plastic Surgery. And when I added them in and got a buzz score, well, now I'm able to get an analysis here that's AI generated so that I can really lean on that from an engagement standpoint. And I think the problem that I know I had and some people have, maybe not on this call, probably not on this call, anybody on this call, but for me personally, I think it was really speaking to the data and having the confidence to speak to the data. I think that held me back some until I started to get a better handle on it and and spin, right? I think a good cadence. It just did take some attrition. It took some practice and consistency, but I think what we're doing now is we're really narrowing that curve, that learning curve, by just giving you the analysis. Here, if I'm in the detailed section of a prospecting and want to have a conversation with, is that now we've got the AI component, that engagement to go to correspond with some of the areas that we're seeing in the summary. So here's that digital advertising. Here's an analysis that I can get for this specific section. Here's social media. We saw that they are 100, but now we have an analysis to go along with that, right? And so with that analysis, I can come in here and dive a lot deeper the way we did with Tube to just give you that good information, that good content, and the analysis to go with it to help me move forward a little bit faster in my sales process. Okay. And speaking of content, this is where we're going to house it now. And this is good because we've got our context that'll include our strengths, weaknesses, our SWOT analysis, but our conversation starters as well. Because we also realize that, hey, how do I get the ball rolling? We're helping you here. And then some, right? We now call these queues. It's a closed environment. So, rest assured, somebody's not going to be able to type it into a field like ChatGPT and start asking random questions that might turn the conversation sideways. What we've done
Or
is we've really
exporting
synthesized
proprietary data,
a
right?
lot of the, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And so
that's a
what
risk of
we've
those
done
chatbots is
is we've
pushing out data.
developed these
Yeah.
queues. Yeah, absolutely. So what we decided to do is we wanted to get feedback from current users, and they came through in spades. And we synthesized that information. And the question was really, what do you want to know? Like, what's going to help you move forward faster in the sales process? What are some of the must-haves, right? And so let's get some conversation starters to discuss industry trends. Or what about the prospect's goals and objectives? Who are they looking at? What are their pain points, right? Or what products and services that I can provide to help them? And so when you click on one of these areas here, well, that's our output area will always be here. So we will be giving you these conversation starters here. We're going to be giving you that information as well, which is great. And the good thing here is that we can take your products that you currently sell and personalize it even more. If I were to come in and say, hey, give me conversation starters to discuss how my products can help, well, then now your products will be found right here as well. So that's always really strong for us. And then, of course, recommendations. Now, this is good because we've got the what, the so what, and the now what. So based on that 75 score and what we've been able to find, well, now we've got, okay, here's where we are. What does it mean? Well, now what can we do here? What can we do to move forward to help you grow your business? And this is awesome. Again, downloadable. Your products are listed here. It can be inputted into the output up here, and it's just really speeding up the process considerably. All right. I'm gonna pause here really quickly. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, if you have a question, maybe just throw it in the chat. I've got the chat bar up here. Just to simplify the audio, if we can just type questions and I'll
Yeah.
relay them back. Yeah. So while we wait for people to think if they have a question, the what, so what, now what framework, that's recently introduced in the product. And it's really straightforward, like start from some basic fact or premise and then really like, so what, right? But the so what is important because, what is the insight, right? We have a fact, we have data. What is the insight? That's the so what. And then now what do you do with it? So I think it's a fascinating framework and it's really helpful. And I'm so glad that we rolled that into the product. So Philip, I'm not seeing
Absolutely.
again yeah, I'm not seeing anybody typing any questions. And we got 10:28. I think we promised to keep it to about 30 minutes. So we're coming up close to the bottom of the hour.
Not a problem. And just real, just lastly on this recommendations here. When it comes to product recommendations, again, these can be your products. And so you'll see this is a little bit more generic on my demo account. But what we are recommending is social media. And we saw that they were a 100 when we looked at them, right? But we're still doing that. And SEO, reputation management. So in other words, we're almost building a mini proposal for you and giving you a nice one-sheeter that can be downloaded and submitted, right? So this is something, for me back then when I was using BuzzBoard, I could have benefited considerably with something like this, but I just love the fact that we've got it in the platform now and we can move forward.
Philip, that's awesome. I'm just going to put a couple links in the chat. So again, I'll post the YouTube channel. So once we get the recording processed, we'll get it uploaded to YouTube. And then I had somebody say they had some questions, but they'd want to save it for a one-on-one demo. So if you want to book a one-to-one demo conversation, I'm going to put that in the chat. There we go. It's you can just book it through Calendly. That shows up on Marilyn's calendar. Marilyn Sartori, our VP of Customer Success. She'll take care of you. She does so many of these demos. She's such a pro at it. And with that, I think we'll call a close to the demonstration, the webinar. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining. We will post the recording on the YouTube channel. Again, if you want to schedule a one-on-one demo, use the Calendly link. If you just want to follow up with me directly with questions or something, my email is david@buzzboard.com. I'll be happy to either answer you or get you routed to somebody who can answer your question. And I invite you to keep track of your email, keep track of the BuzzBoard website, www.buzzboard.ai. We'll have more demos and webinars coming up in the near term. Thank you so much, everybody.